Okay, here we go. My name is Martin O'Neill and I'm from the School of Social Sciences at Cardiff University. And as you can see from my first slide, it is of an old man. I've used this to illustrate that I'm probably one of the oldest of the group. And what I'm going to do in my presentation is firstly tell you a little about myself and then tell you about my approach to research. Central to understanding this is that you need to know, as it says in Welsh at the top of this slide, is that I am a little boy from Merthyr, always, always. I was born and brought up in Merthyr a good few years ago than I care to remember, and I left there when I was about 17 to go and seek my fortune out there in the wicked world. And you can say what you like about Merthyr, but I think it's a damn fine place to come from. Having left Merthyr, I then went on to have various jobs in various places, and I've used this slide of village people to illustrate the wide variety of jobs that I did have during this period. And although I did audition a few times, I'm sorry to admit that I never did quite make it into village people. Anyway, at the age of 37, by happy accident, I found myself back in Wales and in university. This was not something that I really intended to do. It was just that I fancied a change of jobs again, and I wanted to become a social worker. But as I said, it was a happy accident, and when I got to university, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the subject that I particularly enjoyed and then went on to change my life was social anthropology. I had visions of when I left university of going off to South America or India or Africa and becoming a classic anthropologist in a pith helmet. However, I found when I left university I didn't have quite enough money to get me to India or Africa, but what I did have was the bus fare to get me back up to Merthyr Tydfil, where I started out all those years ago. When I got up to Merthyr, I found that the area was suffering real problems, particularly in relation to poverty and ill health, and as the headline from this local paper illustrates, and as you can see, it is really bad, as in the last 20 seconds, life expectancy in the area has gone down by another year. But this got me interested in doing research around topics that were interesting in this locality, you know, health, well-being, ageing. But early on in my research career, I got very disillusioned with traditional approaches to research, and I felt that it was just going into the area to do the research that interests us, and then to take the information back to the university, and then publish in obtuse journals. What was the research actually for? People in the community were telling me the same. They were telling me that they'd been researched for over 30 years, and what is it the research was for? So I went back to my books and started to read people like Tom Harrison and Saul Tax, and I became very influenced by the action approach to research, moving away from an extractive model of research where you take the information out of the community and back to the university, and move towards a more reciprocal model of research, where you do the research with the people rather than research on people. You work together on a collaborative exercise to actually solve problems that people face on a day-to-day basis. Central to achieving this is a model of action research that I've illustrated with this slide, which is easy to show on paper but difficult to achieve in practice. So what I've used a lot in the past is film and visual methods as a way of engaging large audiences as possible, and to illustrate my point, I'm going to show you a short film that I've made to tell you about my research interests.